Good morning, Sam. How are you doing?
I'm very good, Bruno. How are you?
Very, very good. Looking forward to hearing your take on the Spanish Golden Visa recent events.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
uh,
welcome back here to Spainguru.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
The Spanish Congress recently passed a law phasing out the Golden Visa program in Spain. Can you please explain the details?
Well, yes. I mean, we knew, as I'm sure a lot of the people watching this knew last year, that the Spanish Golden Visa was going to be changed or withdrawn, but we didn't really know what that was going to look like. It was brought in because of the potential impact on the house prices in Spain and various other economic reasons. But our speculation was very much that it might not just be the property, that it might just be the property that was affected, not necessarily all the other areas. But as I'm sure everyone is aware now, basically means that the Spanish Golden Visa will no longer exist in any form as of the deadline date. And that differs from what happened with Portugal the year before last, where they changed the Golden Visa program, but just withdrew certain elements, but still have it available. But in Spain, for anyone that's watching, when it's gone, it's gone.
Yes, and I understand that the law that faces like deletes the articles that define the Golden Visa investment types was published on January 3rd, 2025, so a few days ago, and
Yeah.
gives a 3 month period for the final elimination. Okay, but does it work that way? Do we really have 3 months until April 3rd to apply, or how is it?
Yeah, it is. Basically, the way they're looking at it at the moment, that yes, we've got the 3 month period. So the big date for everyone to be aware of is April the 3rd. After that date it's gone. So you need to have your applications in before that date for them to be honoured. The good news about the way it's been announced is that they will honour applications that have come in. But obviously, at the point you make your application, you're going to have the qualifying asset and make your application before the April the 3rd deadline. And there won't be any extension of that. People watching the news recently probably seen, there's all sorts of things that can change when things go through the Congress and Parliament, this, that, and the other. But at this point now, it's written in stone. So as of April the 3rd, it'll be gone. And if you're going to do it, you want to do it, you've got to get your applications in before that date.
So for the people who already invested, how does the new law impact people who already obtained their Spanish Golden Visas?
Well, this is the good news: is once you've got your golden visa, you're in with it. So they won't take it away from you. So once you've got it, you can then continue as long as you have that qualifying asset. As long as you have that, you can continue to benefit from that. So as I say, if you can get in before that deadline of the April the 3rd, if you get in before that, it's not going to be taken away from you, and that can carry on then for the next 10 years until you get your citizenship, or sooner, like you say, if you have a ex-Spanish colony passport.
Sam, can you explain the solution that Holborn Assets offers to help clients benefit from the Spanish Golden Visa before the program shuts down?
Yeah, so this is interesting. We've been doing the Spanish Golden Visa for a long time. We've had various routes that we've been able to do for our clients. Because we've now come to the end and we know when the deadline is, we're focusing on one particular route that we can do for clients because it is quick and we can get it through in time and we can guarantee that we can get it through in time. Essentially, it's a property investment option. So we have what it's essentially a hotel option. So the idea of this is you invest into a hotel. It's part of a hotel chain here in Spain where they've got over 40 hotels around Spain. They're building a new one just outside Madrid in San Blas. It's part of the Soho boutique hotels for anybody that's watching might be familiar with them. They've got hotels, as I say, very near to where I am now. I'm sure there's one near to where you are, Bruno, as well. They're all over the place here, but they're building a new one in San Blas, which is a business district near Madrid. They're inviting people to invest into that project. So we're able to obtain the golden visa for our clients by investing into the project. The advantage of it is you have complete security because any money that's invested is essentially secured against all of the hotels that they own, not just the one they're building. So it's very, very, very secure. The idea is you don't even have to invest 500,000. You can invest as little as 350,000. Obviously, there's taxes and costs you've got to be aware of, but that's essentially the base investment. Once you've invested that, they will add 150,000 to your investment to make it to the 500,000. 500,000. So that's almost like a compensation or interest payment, or very near to where I am now. I'm sure there's one near to where you rental payment that's paid to you up front. So you're invested 350. The hotel invests 150. That gives you your 500,000. And quite simply, that gives you the golden visa. What they do is in 10 years' time, they have a guaranteed buyback of 500,000 written into your contract. So basically, in year 10, when you can get your passport, that's when you can qualify for citizenship. The asset is basically guaranteed, doesn't matter what's happened with house prices or prices, it's guaranteed to be bought back off you for the 500,000. So it's completely and utterly secure. Initially, they had 50 spots. I think there's about 10 or 11 left. So for anybody that's looking now, you have to act now because they are going very quickly. As you can imagine, there's a huge rush for people to do it now because it's towards the end and because it's very secure. I believe as well, for anybody watching this, just finally, with regards to whom, because a lot of the problem with the Spanish Golden Visa is trying to release money to do it. Some people might have to sell an asset to have the money to do it. They're actually allowing people to apply for as little as 50,000 initially as an initial payment, and we can get the deeds done on the basis of a lower payment with a view that the remainder will have to be paid within 6 months. So there are ways to do it for people that maybe have a cash flow situation in the short term. We're able to look at that as well. The best thing to do in this situation, if it's something you're interested in, is speak to me because I can go through exactly how it works, what's available, what your situation is, and see whether that works for you. But that's what we're concentrating on because we can guarantee that we can get that done in the deadline that we have.
Yes, and those are the standards waiting time for Spanish citizenship, which is 10 years. But if you are dual nationality holder, for example, if you own an Ibero-American country passport, for example, Mexico, Puerto Rico, etc., or countries like Brazil or Philippines, for example, you can benefit from the 2-year fast track to obtain the Spanish citizenship. And also, if you're not out of Spain more than 10 months in 5 years, you can also apply for the long-term residency permit in Spain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there are different pathways. That's what I want to
Absolutely.
say.
And it's really important. And I know you'd make the viewers aware of this, but it's really important to realize obviously there's no minimum stay requirements in Spain as the Golden Visa program, which is what has made it a very popular program. So people that are thinking, well, actually, I know I want to move to Spain in the future, but might not be here right now. Getting in on an option like I've discussed there can get your foot in the door. So it would then be honoured from then on because, part of the way it works is that laws will be, once you're in, you're in. Essentially, once you've got the Golden Visa program and you're in with it, it won't be taken away with you. So essentially, you can do it now with a view you're not moving over for a number of years and that won't affect your Golden Visa. So it's great from that point of view as well.
Exactly. The Golden Visa opens you a wide range of possibilities. You can just like spend 1 day in Spain and not become Spanish tax resident if you're
Yeah.
not interested in the citizenship or in the long-term residency, but still having a foot here set in Spain and in a European country, definitely. And well, there's always a silver lining out there. So with Spain phasing out its Golden Visa program, is Portugal now an attractive option for investors?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, Portugal was an interesting one because that did change. I keep saying last year, but it was now the year before last because we're now 2025. But yeah, 2023, Portugal changed. So whereas Portugal used to have a number of ways, such as property, where you can invest in Portugal in a number of different ways, similar to Spain to get your own visa, they changed it and they removed property as an option. But Portugal still allow you to invest into a business or into an investment fund. And that will ultimately give you your golden visa for Portugal. The advantage with Portugal, why a lot of people do like Portugal, is no matter what your passport type is, what country you're from, you can get citizenship in 5 years. And the stay requirements in Portugal they're not as lenient as Spain. They're not zero stay requirements, but it's basically 2 weeks in every 2-year period. That's what it works out. So it's basically a week a year, which is a holiday to Portugal per year.
Not a bad place to be, yeah.
Not the worst place to go once a year. You can even go for 2 weeks and then not go the next year if you really wanted to. But it's a really good way of doing it because in year 5, you would then you'd qualify for the Portuguese passport. The Portuguese passport essentially is a very strong passport in Europe, and that would ultimately then allow you to move around and to live anywhere in the EU, to work anywhere in the EU on the basis of having the passport. So it's a really, really strong option. Also, because a company like ours at Holborn Assets, we're an investment company. So with Portugal, you need to have a qualifying investment fund or a qualifying business. We've been doing this for many years now. We found the best funds, we found the best businesses to invest into. And a lot of these you can do for less money. So for example, similar to the option I mentioned with Spain, you can do it for as little as 399,000, even potentially less, because some investment funds, for example, will pay interest up front and they will have a guaranteed buyback in year 5 when you get your passport. So there's lots of options like that. There's lots of different options, but ultimately Portugal does remain an incredibly good alternative to Spain Once Spain has gone, there is a silver lining, as you say, in Portugal.
Definitely something to keep in mind. And finally, what advice would you give to someone who is still unsure whether the golden visa is the right path for them?
It's to speak to someone. I mean, in these situations, we're here to advise people, to help people. Not in everyone's situation it's the right thing, but for a lot of people it is. The golden visa is ultimately incredibly good in terms of it gives you the right to live, to work, to retire, to the healthcare, to the pensions, all this sort of side of things. It's a very, very good thing to have. But what we can do, if you're unsure, is speak to us. We do free consultations. We can sit down with you. We can tell you how it works. Obviously, time is a little bit on against you on this one, but we have time to talk you through it. And if it is the right thing for you, then we can get things moving and we can get things through. As I say, we've got a lot of experience in doing this. We've been doing this for many, many years. So anybody that's interested in Spain or Portugal, speak to us. We can talk you through it. We can tell you the pros, we can tell you the cons, we can tell you how it works. But the key is to talk to someone and we'd be happy to help.
Fantastic, Sam. I really appreciate your take on this. And I thank you so much for being on Spainguru again.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Always enjoy it. Thank you very much, Bruno.